Welcome to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast, aka CTP. I am your host, Joseph M. Leonard, and that's Leonard. CTP is your no muss, no fuss, just me, you, and an occasional guest type podcast. Really appreciate you tuning in. As Graham Norton would say, let's get on with the show! Hello, everyone. Welcome to Books, Authors, Weeks, October of 2025. I had Health Weeks in February of 2025. I had a Music Weeks, 3 of those in the month of March 2025. So here we are, October. I have a lot of fellow authors I have the chance to have discussions with. So Books, Authors, Weeks, October 25. Without further ado, let's head into a discussion with a fellow author.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Constitutionalist Podcast. Welcoming me today, I'm going to say the name slowly, so hopefully, even though before I hit record, I tried to get the pronunciation all right. We'll see. Patrick Sangimino.
Very nice. Well done.
Okay. The G sounds like a J. Yeah, then. Yeah.
Soft G, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, if you're viewing behind the scenes video, BitChute, Brighteon, Dailymotion in France, Rumble, YouTube, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen so you won't have to figure it out. And for the benefit of the audio and or the transcript, those reading, it's Patrick, as you would expect, Sangimino. So I'm just going to say Patrick from now on so I don't screw it up.
Tell me anything you want.
Hey, just don't call me late for dinner, right? As the saying goes.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I got the write-up from Mickey. Dogs chase cars. I like that. Dogs chase cars, details. Here we go again. I hit record and the mouth don't cooperate. Details the downturn in the newspaper industry through the eyes of a longtime Kansas City sports columnist. I like that. But before we get into the book, let's back this truck up. Beep, beep, beep. Where were you born? Where were you raised? Where are you now?
I'm a California native. I was raised in California. I moved to the Midwest, where I was a sports writer for a lot of years. And I have recently retired, and I moved back to California to be closer to family.
Okay, that makes sense.
In California.
Hence the Kansas City sports columnist connection in this book.
Yes, sir. You put one and one together.
Yes. Like I say in my How to Write a Book and Get It Published Hints, Tips, and Technique book, write about what you know. Just fictionalize everything, but write about what you know. Yes?
Absolutely.
So, dogs chase cars. What was Christian so get ready, the pun coming, right? The genesis for this project.
The genesis for the title or the genesis for the book itself?
Both. Go with whatever you wish first.
So for the book itself, I think most people can recognize that you pick up a newspaper nowadays and it's not what it used to be. It's a lot more expensive. It's smaller.
It's pretty thin, yeah.
But it used to be. I grew up in a time in the industry when it was such the daily routine. It was a wonderful time to be in the industry. And I was in what I consider to be the golden age of newspapers, the 80s, the 90s, and things started to change a little bit with the advent of the internet. And then kind of watched a few of my friends get swept up in these mass layoffs, really good journalists. And I thought,
And what's
wow,
AI going to do to all this?
yes. Excuse me. And then it became, what happens if, what would I do if this happened to me? And it became this seed for a book. And here I was, all of a sudden this guy's driving to work one day and he's been in the same job for 32 years. First as a sports writer and then as a sports columnist. And he's driving to work expecting to be the latest casualty to mass layoff. So you're watching this guy. Well, he's driving to work and he's flashing back.
Don't
he's
give too many spoilers.
Yeah, but he it kind of flashes back to the relationships he's had, how he got to where he was, some of the sports stories he's covered, but mainly the relationships and the coincidences and the God winks of what brought him to this place. I'm firm believer in God winks and the message is passed on by people because that's the way life is.
And the title?
So here we are. He gets to the end of life and he realizes, or he gets to the end of his career and he realizes not only is his career over, but all of those relationships that he kind of put on the back burner to at the expense of his career.
Wasted
He's
away.
alone.
Lost. Yep.
Yes. So it's a cautionary tale on the balance between home and work life, but also just a story of how you need to embrace the people around you every day. Tell them you love them and tell them
I thought
they
maybe
matter.
I thought maybe the title you were answering the proverbial question. Dogs chase cars. What happens when they catch one?
That story started in high school, and I was kind of talking to a girl. I was trying to make some time with a girl. I was seeing her in high school, and the bell rang. I was late for class, and it was right across the hall, and the teacher was watching me. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to get to class right now. I'm making time with this girl. So I finally went to class, and teacher looks at me, and I said, sorry, I'm late. I was talking to someone. And he said, dogs chase cars, but they can't drive them. And I was probably a little too
young at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, ignorant to realize what that meant, that he was just throwing the ultimate rip on me. And but it became this metaphor for life. What happens when you chase the car and you catch it? Do you know what to do? What happens when you get the girl? Do you know how to keep her? What happens when you're chasing a story? Do you know what comes next? Everything.
Yeah,
so it's all just a metaphor in life.
Exactly. Yes. I was going to say all these metaphorical things, though I like to joke. I'm far too clever an author for metaphors. I use meta sixes. Bum.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think it's clever, but I'm easily amused. And you mentioned high school. I took journalism in high school. I wrote for the school paper, and like the school paper of then is thicker than some of the newspapers of today.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And that newspaper doesn't cost a quarter anymore.
Yeah, just the ink and the paper and factoring in the distribution costs. That's why a lot of them are downsizing staff, but trying to expand content online behind a paywall model.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. But you've asked your customers, and I think customer service in every industry is failing just because people have had to um, make these concessions. Companies have had to make concessions to make ends meet. So you've got fewer people doing the job, and you're asking people to pay more for getting less.
Yeah. Yeah, I customer service. I've recently, I think both in this month, did two CTP video exclusives on customer service or the lack thereof.
Yeah, it's an oxymoron in a lot of ways, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like one of the running into issues with Daily Motion, one of my 5 video outlets. Is like, do you have anyone who actually looks at the error logs rather than begging, have I tried this? Have I? Yes, I've tried all that. How about you actually go look at the error logs and see what the real problem is? Find somebody to fix it. Because, of course, on my side, being a former IT guy, I know bad programming from some people rightfully fired for their bad programming over the years. They just throw up the same generic, oh, we're having a problem, try back later error message. That doesn't tell me what the problem is or how to fix it at all. Look in the logs. What was the real problem? How do we fix it? And obviously, the frontline customer service people are just to beg off to others who will actually look at it and fix it. You're no help. Pass me on.
Exactly. And it's something I'm talking something so simple as I didn't get my paper this morning, and you call the number that they give you now, and or now they want you to go online and do it, but you get a call center that's not even in the town you're in.
Not even in the country, and most
Yes,
likely.
yes. So we've created this really weird system where customer service is not really customer service, and you feel just gypped by it. But the company's saving lots of money because rather than having two or three people in every office for every paper they own, they have one call center with 100 people there, and it could be in a foreign country, like you said.
Yeah. But are they really saving money with all the customers they land up losing? Right? So,
Right.
indeed, right? I didn't get my paper. This is real simple. If you're at a place that can actually help, look in the computer. Who is my delivery person? Get them on the phone. Find out why I didn't get a paper. This isn't rocket science, but yet, and does it save money if I've got to go through 10 people to get to the actual person who can look that up?
Exactly. Hey, yeah, and I talked about the golden age. I remember when I first got into the industry, somebody called and didn't get a paper, and somehow that call got to the newsroom. I remember getting in my car and going delivering it myself. You know, that's customer service right there.
Right. Amen. Amen. I don't want to keep going down this road though, or I'll rant and rave for 3 hours about it.
But that's that is the what we're reaping what we sowed, and a lot of it has to do with technology and what it's done. And technology has been great in many ways. You were in the IT industry, you understand the uh, the benefits of it, but for all of the benefits, there are two or three really bad things. I remember when direct deposit became a big deal, and but
Oh, the banks
try
are
to
gonna all close.
yes, but try to go to your bank
ATMs.
right now, and when you have a problem, they don't know who you are. I always liked knowing who the people taking care of my money were.
That's why I go to my local branch. For
Yes.
now, somewhat small operation.
Yeah.
And that's why credit unions do so well. Far more
Yes.
personable.
Yes. You just want to know that you want them to know who you are. So when you have a problem, it's going to get taken care of. That part of society is gone now. And that's a shame.
Yeah, I'm going to make myself a note here. I just doxed my bank. I will obviously edit that out.
There you go.
I
You be
will,
careful with that.
exactly. And yeah, and former IT guy, right? Ask people at the time that were buggy makers, right? About the automobile. You either adapted to making bodies that could work in a propelled buggy, or you went by the wayside. Every new thing, as you alluded, there are good things and bad things in them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Do you still own a buggy whip? Or did you ever own a buggy whip?
Yeah, me personally, no.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
that's why I use the buggy as the better example, because
Exactly.
buggies could translate to self-propelled buggy operations.
Yeah. But no, I mean the world changes and we adapt. You know, when the 8 track went away, we didn't stop listening to music, and that's what's going on with the newspaper industry right now. We're just kind of reinventing ourselves, but the problem is that by putting it behind a paywall online, you're asking people who once got this product for free online to suddenly pay for it, and that's the problem. Now, I understand that news costs money. You know, the producing news costs money. The people doing the job, but
Yeah, the collection of it, the aggregating it, how to most succinctly deliver it in word form. Yeah,
yes,
that all takes time. That all takes people. That means money. And with social media, people, oh, I just, get my, and they don't want details matter. I rant and rave about this all the time, right? Details matter. That's why I try to keep the shows to around 30 minutes. The Twitter attention span, TikTok. Not everything can be explained in 30 seconds on a TikTok. Details matter, people.
agreed. So yeah, the newspaper industry is just reinventing itself right now, and it's going through some hard times right now, and sadly, it's just not what it used to be.
Yeah. Again, like as we discussed, the buggies, you either adapted to a buggy that can work in a self propelled environment or you died. Everything comes a point, adapt or die. Yes.
No one will say that I chose the newspaper industry to write this story as a vehicle because it's what I have expertise in. You could have chose any industry, and all of them are going through their adaptation to technology. Meanwhile, I think the story is far more about the relationships that are meaningful in life and how it is important to keep those things going. There's a wonderful relationship between a man and his father, and how he really didn't appreciate it until the father died. And there's a story of a man who
That
who's
brings to mind the Mike and the Mechanic song in the living
yes,
years, right?
the living years, great song, but you also realize when your job, this is everything you've ever wanted, putting someone on the back burner, putting a marriage on the back burner for a job, and all of a sudden waking up and realizing the job, excuse me, the job is just a job. The person, your soulmate, supposedly, is now gone. But
Yeah.
and now the job's gone.
Yeah, just before recording with you, I was speaking with Jeffrey H. Haskell, and you both are associated with Mickey Mickelson. And we were talking similar. Human nature hasn't really, it creeps and props up over and over all through time. We're talking human condition, not exactly the same, but adapting or dying is the same thing through the centuries, just slightly different situations, but human condition remains the same, yes?
You have a choice in all of this, and it's putting the people matter, and putting them first has to be a priority.
Is this your first book?
It was my first book.
And others in development?
There's another one in development, yes.
Don't give out the title. Never give out. Create a working title. Do you have a working title you could throw away?
I don't have a working title yet. And,
okay.
Dogs Chase Cars was the last part of I had written this book, and I was pretty satisfied with it. And then it went through the editing process, and I realized I had a lot of work to go. And we reworked a lot of it. My editor was really good, and Stephen Perloni in Colorado Springs, really good editor. Anyway, he guided me through this whole thing, but the one thing we didn't have was a title. And then all of a sudden that one dawned on me. That was the last thing I wrote for this book. Was the title.
Yeah, in my How to Write a Book and Get It Published, Hints, Tips, and Techniques, I always say, never give out your title. Always have some, like the Book of Kennedy, Project Carpe Diem, was the working title. It became the subtitle to the Book of Kennedy, Project Carpe Diem. Never give away your title because someone might steal it.
I was trying to come up with some kitschy little newspaper slang term, and then all of a sudden I was just realizing that was way too inside baseball, and it just nothing worked, nothing felt natural or authentic, and Dogs Chase Cars. When I first came up with it, I was like, no, that's horrible. But the more I kind of tried it on, the better it felt. And now I'm very happy with the name of that.
Yeah. And it's great when you can factor in an old adage or phrase like that, like I did Project Carpe Diem, right? Seize the day. Dogs chase cars. Most people that are at least older than 35 and have had any real schooling of any kind at all will be familiar with the concept, at least, to try to draw people in. Yes,
absolutely. Anybody who's seen the Dead Poets Society would know what Carpe Diem. There you go.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Every life is a story. Some just end too soon. Ryan's life unfolds through words on paper, dreams of youth, love discovered, and the challenges of growing up. He found purpose in love, joy in family, and meaning in every small moment. But even the strongest hearts can break. And sometimes life takes unexpected turns. Through laughter and loss, Ryan leaves behind something greater than memories, a lasting legacy. A short story, A Lasting Legacy, by Joseph M. Leonard. A moving reflection on life, love, and the stories we leave behind. Available on Amazon in ebook, paperback, and hardcover editions. By Joseph M. Leonard.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm sure dogs chase cars in some uh, vestige, some variation has been in classic TV or movie somewhere too, that even younger people, was like, oh, that's an old phrase, that it's been introduced somewhere in some way or form to them, I hope. I can't think of an example offhand.
We can't either, and I am not so naive to believe that my high school English teacher was the one who came up with that, because while he was a
No.
smart man, I don't think he was a brilliant man. So
We'll cut that out in case he's watching. No.
I hope he hears it. Bill Curran, I hope you're alive for this. So
Right. Yeah. I think back to many of my teachers, indeed, standing on the shoulders of all who came before, as an adage comes to mind, right? As me, I'm far from brilliant. I'm far from being a genius. I come up with some creative new things, but a lot of it is a variation on a prior theme, building on, standing on the shoulders of those who came before. Yes.
no leave. And most great ideas are just that. Most inventions today started with something before it.
Yeah, something in some way, shape, or form. That's why I invented the term and trademarked constitutionalist, the left, right, Democrat, Republican. Anyone hears liberal, conservative, automatically usually engages an emotional hysteric rather than a logic, reasoned, thoughtful, considered response. So I wanted a new term. You're either Christian or you're not, and you understand the Judeo-Christian foundations, or you don't, and why I'm here to try to educate on that.
No, I agree.
Okay, well, as I said, today's Twitter attention span, short is better, right? But details matter. So, website where people can get more details about the book and about you.
I do have a Twitter handle, and it's P Sangimino, Sangimino.
Peace as in peace sign.
No, just a P as in Patrick.
Oh, P as in Patrick.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I am not nearly creative enough to come up with Peace Sangimino. If I had to do it over again, I probably would. But my website address is patricksangimino .com. My Instagram is Patrick Sangimino. That's about it. You can probably find me on Facebook as well, but at Pat Sangimino. But you can track me down, I'm sure. A quick Google and you'll find me.
Okay. Well, I don't want to get into that either, but I'm shadow banned on most of Google. I've been writing articles as an IT guy before there was such a thing as an internet to put things online, right? So, but yet somehow 5 decades of writings, Google pretends doesn't exist. They don't censor my books because that would be screwing with Bezos's money and all the ad revenue they give them. Right?
Right, exactly. No, it's interesting because we talk about Twitter and or if you want to call it X, whatever you want to call it, and how much it has changed the journalism world. And it's everyone has a platform now, and that's a scary thing. Most people deserve to be able to. Well, everybody deserves to be able to voice their opinion. It's the world we live in. It's the country we live in. I believe in free speech. But just because you have an opinion, the right to an opinion, doesn't mean you should share your opinion on everything. And we live in a world right now where everybody does
And
without
you,
fact.
yeah, you were going where I was going next. Yes, you have a right to an opinion, but it matters if your opinion is based on the real world or unicorn fart delusions.
Exactly. And the one thing people mistake, uh, there's a lot of people who call themselves journalists who don't do the actual reporting and the investigating of stories, and that's where things get really tricky. Is you got to do the work. The writing part
Oh,
is the
there's a
is
big difference between a journalist and anyone can be a reporter. Walk up to John Doe. John Doe says X.
Mhm.
Well, that's reporting. He said it. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's true. Did you check? That's what makes a journalist, checking facts. And John Doe is full of shit when he says X because, you know, it isn't pink, it's purple or whatever, right?
Right.
Again, that unicorn fart delusion. Well, this is what I would prefer reality to be. Well, no. Reality is reality, whether you like it or not. It is the reality that has to be dealt in, not your delusion and complete fantasy. And you had mentioned Google, but as an IT guy, I mean, Twitter changed Google because Google used to engage in, or the internet was based around keywords. Well, they completely, it still is, but hashtags are the keywords now, whether real or imagined. Hashtag LOL is a valid keyword now because it's a hashtag often used, right? So I get people who complain I use too many hashtags, including in my books, a couple of places. I will use a hashtag, phrase there. That's how the internet works, people. For IT, I know how it works. You use hashtags, you get unless of Google shadow banning you, you get better cross-referencing. That's the way the internet works now. And people outside don't know or don't understand that.
It's a different world, and it also shows how as a longtime journalist who wrote in complete sentences and complete words, I mean, we're not good at Twitter. We just we have had to adjust to this and make do. Meanwhile, these young journalists are coming up and they can't write a complete sentence. They
No.
can't spell, they can't do anything, but they are amazing on Twitter and they're getting all the clicks and they can't write. So it's interesting. So it's what has become, what do we consider to be good journalism right now? Is it the one that where there's great reporting and great writing, or is it the one that's getting the most clicks? And we've often confused the number of likes and number of clicks to how good a story is. And therein lies the problem.
Oh, back to customer service. It's customer service, the measure, like I used to work for Kmart headquarters, right? The measure of a good cashier, they want to measure on how quickly can they scan and get a customer out the door. Well, that's one definition. Frankly, that's a bad definition. Now, if there's 1,000 people in the store, yes, you want them to shut up and scan the crap out of everything and get customers out the door. But if it's slow, the measurement of that cashier needs to be how personable are they? And the clicks per minute don't tell you anything about that, whether they help bring a customer back because they talked about the weather, they cared about their day, they shared a smile. The computer can't tell you that.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. It's our metrics now are just skewed by this new engagement that makes no sense in terms of the actual product you're producing.
Yeah. Okay. Wrapping things up. Thank you, Patrick Sangimino. The G sounds like a J. Yeah, I got it.
You got it. You got it.
For coming on. Appreciate it. Take care. God bless.
Appreciate you.
For tuning in to books. There will be several different books, authors, several different authors. Books, authors, weeks for October of 2025. And remember, you can check out my books at josephmleonard.us/shop. And again, Joseph M. Leonard, it looks French. It's not Leonard, it's Leonard without an O, and I have to put the middle initial in there because there is a Joseph Leonard who is also a Christian author out of South Carolina, so I have to make that distinction. And going in line with books, authors weeks, I've joked as guests on other shows, I am not he is not me, and neither of us will be confused for Shakespeare. And frankly, most writers out there are not going to be confused for Shakespeare. They're not trying to be. There might be a few that, looking for that Renaissance era feel, but hey, it's a new millennia, people. Right? This is the here and now. It isn't Shakespearean Renaissance area. If you're looking for Shakespeare, reread Shakespeare. Take care. God bless. Love you all. Like and subscribe to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help. Thank you for having tuned in for Constitutionalist Politics Show. If you haven't already, please check out my primary internationally available book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you. Available anywhere books are sold. If you have locally run bookstores still near you, they can order it for you. And let me remind, over time, the fancy high production items will come. But for now, for starters, it's just you as a very appreciated listener by me. All substance, no fluff, just straight to key discussion points. A show that looks at a variety of topics, mostly politics, through a Christian U.S. constitutionalist lens. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Take care. God bless.
Wham Radio, 1600 AM and 92.7 FM is your conservative flamethrower. Weekdays, Steve Gruber starts things off at 6 a.m. Gruber gives his perspective on the issues of the day. At 9 a.m., Glenn Beck blazes the airwaves with his nationally syndicated program. From noon to 3, it's Dennis Prager. At 3 o'clock, it's Wham's own Thayrone X. On the Edge, Thayrone tells it exactly as he sees it. At 6, it's The Dana Show, your conservative alternative. At 8, don't miss Joe Pags. Weekends are filled with conservative talk as well. Fingers Malloy, Thomas LeDuc, The Abolitionists Roundtable, A Moment of Clarity with Pastor Rick, Your American Heritage with Ed Bondarenka, Dave Janda's Operation Freedom, and Dick Kupke's Trigger Talk. You can even get links to Wham podcasts from Dave, Dick, and of course Thayrone, all from their pages on our website, whamradio.com. Keep it locked on Wham Radio, 1600 AM and 92.7 FM in southeastern Michigan, and whamradio.com anywhere in the world.